Hey folks, so I'm Dr. G. Welcome to the first day of class. Welcome back for a lot of you I've had before, but for folks who are new, I am so glad to have you in this class, and I'm super stoked to be teaching a non-binary studies class. So I am a trans studies scholar. I'm actually the only trans studies scholar at Kent State. And I remember a time when I would have to convince my department chair that a transgender studies course would make, which means had enough students. And so it's kind of really cool to be in a space where I'm also able to make a non-binary studies course right? Because non-binary studies is kind of like a sub field within trans studies. So this is kind of like a rabbit hole within a rabbit hole, if you will. So I'm just really pumped. And the other neat thing, in case it encourages you, is that this is actually one of the first non-binary studies classes ever. So that is neat. And if you've had trans studies class with me before, this is actually different. I mean, there's the beginning, even when we're talking about some gender 101 stuff, there will be some overlap, but the rest of the class is this cool kind of a slip and slide into non-binary goodness. All right. So there's not a repeat. I've done a really good job of making sure that this isn't a duplicate of the same class. And if you've not taken trans studies, I would love it. I would be super honored to have you in that class with me because it's my jam. So yeah, that is just me having feeling all the feelings on the first day. So this is what we're up to today. It's pretty straightforward. In task 1, I just want you to watch and or read. Probably, I mean, it's up to you. I'm not gonna lie, my course overview, it was a little bit longish, but you can totally check out the document, and it's the same stuff, right? So I mean, there are some funny, weird Easter eggs in there because I apparently can't go past 5 minutes without doing stupid shit. So I mean, I guess if you're into that, you can totally watch me do dumb stuff as the video just keeps on going. So there's that. But you can totally check that out in terms of the course document. Some of it's going to look familiar for students who've had me before. The next thing is definitely fill out this survey. It's a getting to know you survey. And it's, well, what it is, right? So I just kind of want to know stuff about you, teaching. Anyway, so then the last thing, I think, no, maybe that could be a lie. It's the second to last thing we're doing is we're going to set up Slack. So for some of you, Slack is not new, but even if Slack is new for you, do not panic. Slack is actually easy. It seems complicated. It ain't, right? So the first thing you're going to do is accept my Slack invite if you haven't already. It looks like actually a lot of you have. And then just check out these LinkedIn Learning courses that are available free through Kent. And there are just 3 chapters I want you to do. Unlike me, the person who teaches the class speaks super slow. So I personally sped up her voice. You can skip all the quizzes or whatever. I don't care about that. I just care about you knowing how to use Slack. The cool thing, right, is that Slack, unlike our stupid learning management systems, is actually useful because there are a lot of workplaces that use it. Even Cleveland Clinic uses Slack. So anyway, just check out these 3 chapters of that LinkedIn Learning thing. And if you're hey, how do I get access to LinkedIn Learning? This is a step-by-step instruction in terms of how to do it. Real simple, but if you're I still don't get it, that's totally fine. I created another video to kind of show you how to get it. All right, so you can do it either way. All right. And then, just avoid the temptation to skip it, right? Because it does kind of show you some cool things, all right? So just sort of keep that in mind. I think the one thing it doesn't really focus on as much as it should, sometimes at first you're going to be typing in there and you're going to want to create a paragraph and you're going to hit return and it's going to post your shit early, just kind of like it does on Facebook. If you use the Messenger on Facebook, you already know this. I think even it does that too, I think on the Twitter, direct messages. And I'm sure though, the point is you just press down if you want to, before you hit return to create a paragraph, just hold down the shift key first, and then you won't send a message before you meant to. Just side note. That's my gift to you. Yeah, and then once you have done all of that, just kind of edit your Slack profile. Just give yourself a picture. Make sure that the name that you want is in there, and if you're comfortable sharing your pronouns, I would definitely encourage you to put that in your display name, so you can kind of see that with me, that I've got that in there as well. So just kind of, I think again, not compulsory, but if you want to do it, I think it's cool because we obviously all want to just know how to address each other and hold space for each other. If you're just need some help in terms of how do I set this up, this gives you again, I made a video of me showing you how to do it because, I'm just here to help. So there's that. Then, just kind of make a plan in terms of how you want to use Slack. Because I teach the class, I've got Slack on everything. I've got it on the web, I've got it downloaded as an app, I've got it on my phone, but that's because, right, when students have questions, I want to be there to answer those. You don't need to be that extra, but some students do end up putting it on their phone and then also downloading the app. It's free to do. The cool thing about having the desktop app is that you don't have to toggle back and forth oh, what tab was I on? So that is a neat thing if you're into that, all right? So just kind of keep that in mind. I wouldn't recommend doing it on your phone, the whole class on your phone. That might get frustrating after a minute, so there's that. All right, so after you've decided how you want to use Slack, you've done all your fun setting up your profile on Slack, the next thing that I want you to do is to kind of, oh wow, y'all saw just a text from my friend there. That's Tangela. She's super cool. Anyway, that's fine. You don't need to know about Tang. Anyway, so the point here is that the last thing I want you to do in this part of what we're doing today is to just kind of take a moment to introduce yourself on our social space channel, and there's a link to it right there. And so there's that. And just kind of tell us stuff about you, what your major is, what campus you attend, all that fun stuff. And you can also just share other things, what you are watching on TV right now. I might have a slight obsession, just a little obsession with Centaur World right now, which is actually kind of, I love it. It is a little sad because it totally reinforces the gender binary, the sadness. Why is there not a non-binary centaur? But that's fine. That's fine. We'll give them until season 2, friends. The point is, it's super adorable. And yeah, so if you're into that, or if you're into something else, talk to us about it. I am clearly super into all sorts of animated things. So they're, I'll just give you fun little prompts. You can do whatever you want, but just talk to us, introduce yourselves, right? So there's that. And then, obviously respond to your peers because they're going to be your party people for the rest of the semester. And I think there are only right now 7 of us, unless one of you recruits someone. That always happens towards the first few days of the semester. I get newbies and it's so exciting. Recruit them. I know that it says that there is a prerequisite for this class, but I promise you that there is not. It's just stupid Kent State red tape, and I can fix it on my end. So if you have a friend who's oh, I tried to sign up, but I can't, that's not true. So just have them talk to an academic advisor. They'll email me and I'll be yes, you can take the class. There's no prerequisite. All right, so there's that. All right, the last thing we are going to do today is to learn this sort of active reading model thing. So if you have taken a class with me before, you meant, I already know this, and that's fine. You can totally skip it because you know it already. But for those of you who don't, there's this video introduction where I kind of just say, hey, this is what it is, right? This is what an active reading exercise is. This one is actually helpful. So if you wanted to skip my course overview and just read the document, that's super fine. But this video is actually super helpful. So there's that. So yeah, that's the active reading exercise. There's a handout. So it kind of, because I know some folks are super into videos and learning visually, but there's also just the handout itself right here. Okay. And I also have an example of what a successful active 1+2 active reading sort of interaction looks like. I not only modeled in terms of comments, but also proper, like not proper, but like ideal replies or whatever. So there's that. And it's an adorable article you do not have to read, but it's on My Little Ponies. And again, I love animated films. They're just so great. So that's all we're doing in class today. Once you've gotten that done, you are good to go. Just like any other time in this class, once you have completed stuff to the best of your ability, you're done. That's it. You can go. I'm not gonna like hold you over. So there's that. And also just like, I want you to really give yourself permission to just kind of like be in the class, so that if like you gotta get up and pee or you need to go make yourself a snack, I don't care. I'm not gonna be like, oh, shame on you. Like, that's not this class, okay? So for homework, you are going to be practicing that active reading model, and you're gonna be reading this How to Understand Your Gender. It's just an excerpt from this book, all right? And yeah, so just go ahead and read that. This is just some pointers about like if it's like the first time you're doing like an active reading thing, because if you're one of the first people read it and I'm like, hey, like I don't see anyone's comments, that makes sense because you're the first person to read it. So you could just kind of like add your comments and then dip out of the document and come back in and then reply to people once more people have started to read it, okay? Sometimes you'll see yellow, but you won't see anyone's comments. That's a glitch. Just close out of the document and then come back in, all right? But there are some things. Also, like if you experience any kind of like problem around that, just let me know. I will absolutely help you sort it out, all right? It's no big deal. But this course is just really kind of straightforward. I'm hoping it's a good time, and let's do the things. All right.